This is Alan Troyer with Cat Forums, and in this video we are going to continue looking at the process of achievement test scoring. We had been on the Cat Forums dashboard and pulled up the Rocky Ridge School and all students, and so we've got this list right here. And by the way, for all these students here, we see how many first graders we have, how many third graders, and so on. And we will be using that later on to verify once we're done scoring. But we'll go ahead and minimize this, and we'll go into the server here. And now we are ready to start using Remark Office. So we're going to double click on this score 345 here to do our response sheets. Select a school and students with recent tests on the test records dashboard before scoring, which we did. If you continue, the previous CAT level 3, 4, and 5 export tables will be cleared. And if we go back in here and go to test records, processing tables, okay, this is an error thing which is empty right now. It gives us a list of errors later on. Level 3, we're not seeing anything here. Level 4, level 5. If we had scored previously, we would see information, and that is what would be cleared out to begin the scoring process. So anyhow, we'll go ahead and type yes here, or a Y, and let Remark Office open up here. Right now it's loading templates. Now it's asking for sheets to scan, and we're looking for the level 3, 4, and 5 sheets, Rocky Ridge, add selected. You see it in the list here, and we'll go ahead and click on read. Now it's going through this scan file and loading the information in the various templates. Okay, here we have a problem. Here's a level 4 sheet that didn't scan quite correctly, and it looks in the QR code in the bottom right hand corner here to identify the sheet and which side of the page. Now it identified the sheet, but it did not recognize which page, so we'll click on page 1 and hit read, and it will continue the process. Now, we actually have 5 template files open here. It ended up on the level 5, the 5101 QR that you're seeing down there. We'll just click on the first name here, Craig Williams. Level 4, excuse me, we will slide this thing over to the beginning of level 4. And Christopher Davis is our first student in level 4. Level 3 will do the same thing. And these files will be saved automatically when it's closed, except for 2 of them. There's a checklist QR here, and that's simply the scan of the checklist, page 1 and page 2, and also the raw form. And these 2 are simply, we could call them throwaway templates. They're simply meant to recognize the checklist and the raw scores form that are part of that scan package. And that's basically more for reference purposes than for the fact that we do anything with them on the computer. Now we do enter raw scores later on, but that's easier done just off the actual piece of paper. Now we are here at the beginning. We're in level 3 here, and now there's information that needs to be added here, and we'll just kind of go from left to right, except that we will be jumping between 3, 4, and 5 as we do things here. The school name ID, there's a database of schools in our system, which you can see there is only 3 of them since this is a sample. But we'll start typing here, and there's Rocky Ridge, Maple Falls, Washington showing there, and also the unique identifier for that school. Now we're going to right click and hit copy, or hit Control C and highlight the entire column, and right click again and hit paste special. And then we'll move on to the level 4 and do the same thing with the first column there, and in level 5. Then we'll jump back to level 3 here. Now the next thing we need to identify is the students. So here's person name ID. and that's way too small, so let's drag it out so it ends up somewhere in the test date thing here. Give us enough width. And we have Mary Davis. We'll just start typing Mary here, and there she is. And as soon as the correct name comes up, hit enter and the down arrow, and it moves us to the next one, which is Daniel X. Martin. And the next one, Joanne. Now the other thing we can do, we typed J and we don't have the right person here yet, but on your keyboard, if you hold the Alt key down and press the down arrow, it brings the drop down. It opens up the drop down, and we can arrow down to Joanne Miller and hit enter, and that's another way of entering it. And then we have Francis Patel, D. Archibald Sanders. Here's a student whose middle name is used as a first name, so we had the first initial and then the middle name there as his common name. Judith Davis, or Judy Davis. We try to use formal names as much as possible because those don't vary whether it's a first grader or a 12th grader. Patrick. Okay, let's move on to level 4 and do the same thing. Here's Christopher Davis, and he's actually in the system, but we're going to pretend that he's a new person, so I'll enter him as if he were new. And we have a database here of first names, which it recognizes many of them. Same with the middle initial. And the last name, looks like Davis is in there, and then his birth date, which is July 18 of 08, 7/18/08, and hit enter. Now, this is actually, since there's a Christopher Davis with that exact birth date in the system, he will not actually be entered as a new person, but he'll be recognized as being existing and merged with that one. Let's go with the others here. And here's something else. If we identify a student here under person name ID, and then we put a piece of information in first, middle name, last name, or birth date, it will update that person. Her birth date is 3/18 of 08. Let's make it 4/18 of 08. And then it will recognize her, and it sees that this is filled in, and so it will update the birth date when everything is processed. Diane. Brian. Well, spell this okay. Rodney. And again, you stretch this one out here. Greg. Nancy. Andrew. And Johnny. Okay, we have them all entered. Now, the first name, middle name, last name, and birth date can all be empty. The test date, we need to have a test date, or we will have an error. 4/21 of 20. And we can do our Control C and then right click, paste special. Work our way backwards through the templates here. Okay, now in our next video we will look at correcting errors. Actually, let's go ahead and enter the curriculum information yet. That looks like it's all CLE. You see that at the bottom of the page there, down here. So we'll type a C here and hit enter. Hit Control C. And if we look here, it looks like all the students have the same curriculum, at least here in level 3. So we will highlight the entire block of cells and hit paste special. Let's look at level 4. We also have the CLEs mentioned there, so it looks like those are all the same, so we will paste special. And level 5. Okay, those all look the same. Now we could, there might be some mixing. Let's pretend there was. We'll just paste this in as CLE. Math could be Saxon or something similar. Let's do Becca. ABB. We can hit Control C and just highlight that column and paste special. And language might be something like rod and staff. Hit Control C and paste special. So there we would have 3 different curriculums. However, in this case it is all CLE, so just click on CLE, hit Control C, highlight the entire block, and hit paste special. Make that all CLE. Okay, that's it for this video, and we will look at the correcting exceptions in the next one. Let's see here. Let's just close this window. And